What's happening, guys? Welcome to our review of the System M camera from Canon. The Canon EOS M is an APS-C size sensor camera, so it has a full APS-C size sensor, which is comparable to the sensor in the 650D or the 600D, which also came from Canon. So you have an 18 megapixel sensor. It's not a micro four thirds sensor like other traditional micro four thirds cameras. So the size of a micro four third camera with the sensor size is a full APS-C 18 megapixel sensor found in their Canon EF lens system cameras, including the 650D, the 600D, even the 7D. Of course, it's smaller than the full frame sensors that are found in the 5D Mark III or 5D Mark II. It is also, in terms of size, it is almost as good as the RX1, which was launched by Sony, which has a full frame size sensor, but the pricing on this is about 1/3 the price of that. But let's talk about the EOS M when it comes to size and performance. The camera is priced at about 50,000 rupees in the market, which actually puts it at par with the company's own 650D, which is also priced around the same price mark. Now, this is essentially what the camera represents. So this is a micro four thirds camera, and this is the EOS M. Now the Lumix GF1 is about 2 years old, whereas this is a new generation. The build quality on this is absolutely phenomenal. The minute you hold the camera in your hand, you almost feel like it is a robust piece of machinery. You also have this really nice grip which is in the front. It allows you to conveniently hold the camera and allows for you to take pictures with a lot of comfort using your right hand, of course. Now the EF M mount is slightly smaller when compared to a standard 650D or a 600D AF mount, which is a standard size of the Canon lens. However, Canon does make an adapter that you can attach to the front of the EOS M camera and allows you to attach any Canon lens that has been made for a crop sensor or for a full frame sensor as well. The size of the APS-C sensor on this is about 40% larger than the standard micro four thirds camera sensor, which is in any micro four thirds camera. The EOS M comes in two bundles, one with a 22mm f2 lens and one with an 1855 lens, which is again a nice build quality lens, which has an f-stop from 3.5 to 5.6. So it's like a traditional Canon 18 to 55mm lens, but on the EOS M it's slightly smaller, and we've seen better light performance on this lens when compared to the standard EF lens, which is a kit lens which comes with the 650D. So the EOS M does have 31 autofocus points, which are selectable using either the control dial or the touchscreen, which is at the back of the camera. The camera has a nice and intuitive menu system which can be controlled by pressing the info button on the back of the camera. You also have the ability to go from program mode to manual mode or to aperture priority. It's fairly easy to select, and customizing the functions are also fairly easy. You can also customize your settings as and when you get into whatever mode you select finally, and you can change the settings like background blur, autofocus tracking, single shot or continuous shot, or whether you want the flash on or off. The camera does not have an inbuilt flash, but Canon does include a 90EX speed light, which is as good as a kit or an inbuilt flash in 650D. Attaching the flash is fairly simple, and you can simply lock it onto the camera using the lock button. The flash is fairly powerful and was able to illuminate subjects easily up to 10 feet, but after that we found that it was not capable, and you would want to replace it with any other speed light or Canon flash or any other proprietary flash available for a standard hot shoe mount. Now the biggest disadvantage on this camera is the non-inclusion of a viewfinder. Now the camera does not have a viewfinder, and there is none available for the hot shoe mount either. So shooting outdoors may be slightly difficult using the touchscreen. However, the screen is fairly visible outdoors, and it is a good viewfinder, but people who are used to using an optical viewfinder on the camera will find it really difficult shooting with this camera. Essentially, it's not a really compact camera. As you can see with the lens all the way out, it becomes quite a big camera, but the camera is not as overpowering as many of the full frame sensor cameras or the standard SLR cameras, the crop sensor SLR cameras that are available in the market. So it's slightly more compact, slightly more discreet. It is fairly quiet, and it does a great job of clicking pictures. It's almost as good as an APS-C size sensor DSLR. So it is essentially a DSLR with an APS-C size sensor stuffed in the body of a compact camera. You can change lenses, which is absolutely brilliant, and you can shoot full HD video at 1080p with 25 FPS or 24 FPS approximately, You do have a microphone in. There is no monitoring, unfortunately. You can't monitor your audio, but you do have a microphone in on this, and you also have uncompressed HDMI out. So if you want to record to an external recorder, you can do that with this camera as well. And the fact that it has interchangeable lenses gives you the ability to own a SLR in a compact size. So for all those ladies who've been asking me what camera they can get EOS M because it offers the professional capability in a very small and compact portable size. It allows you to add lenses all the way up to Canon L lenses, which go all the way up from 1 lakh to 3-4 lakh rupees, sometimes even higher. So you can get professional lenses on this camera. You get an adapter, you get a mount, and you can use this camera as a professional camera. And as you can see, the size of the camera is really compact. After you put a 20mm pancake on, this is essentially smaller than the Panasonic GF1 with the 20. Actually, I have the 1442 on this, so it's actually smaller than this when we put the 22mm pancake on this. So for that, it's fairly good. Now, when we talk about picture quality, you can see that we have really crisp images with this camera, no problem in detail with the kind of things that we've done. Focusing is also pretty good, and close-up focuses are also fairly nice with this camera. So all in all, we're pretty happy with the ability for this camera to take pictures, the kind of things that you have. The only little defects that it has is the fact that it does not have a control dial on the top like a traditional SLR camera that allows you to change modes. So it becomes a little finicky because you have to shift from auto mode to manual mode and then go from the touchscreen interface by pressing the info button and moving along your menu options, and it becomes a little difficult, but it's something that you can get used to. If you are a DSLR shooter, you can get used to this system, and if you are a beginner, this system you can adapt to, so it's fairly simple. This can be a secondary camera for a professional shooter who wants a smaller APS-C size camera to carry around. So this can be a second camera to a full frame camera or a APS-C size camera even. So this can be a carry-on or a backup camera for professionals. And for starters, this is an amazing camera to start shooting DSLR quality images and DSLR quality HD, full HD video. So you have lots of options. Hopefully we have a bunch of more lenses coming out for this. You have the full arsenal of Canon lenses already available for this, but hopefully for the EOS M or the EF-M system, we get some nice lenses, and hopefully in the future upgrade, they're able to add a headphone monitoring. So for people who want to use this for video recording and for video capture, they'll be really happy with the kind of quality of video they'll be able to get from this camera. You can find the full details of the EOS M on iGyan.in. If you have any questions or queries, you can leave those in the comment section below or on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube for more camera related videos, and you can catch the daily dose of iGyan on YouTube as well. So youtube.com/iGyan, youtube.com/iGyanTV. For iGyan Networks, this has been Bharat Nagpal. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.